Yesterday, we were talking about doing the thing anyways and avoiding being stopped by your mind's limited beliefs about you not being perfect, about you not being good enough, about comparing yourself to other people that have been doing the thing for a lot longer than you, comparing your start material with someone else's complete material, finished material. And I was sharing with you yesterday about artwork and the process of a painting, which is something that I absolutely love to do. Part of the reason I love to do it is because I love to watch the transformation of the painting. It starts out with an idea, and then as you engage with the creation, it becomes something different, something that you didn't imagine, something more than you could have imagined. And so it's one of my favorite things to do is to get into that channel of creativity and just paint and see what comes up. But we also talked about the stages of ugly that each painting has to go through. Sometimes several times it goes through a stage of ugly. And if we quit when we get disheartened, if we quit when it's ugly, if we quit before it's finished, it never becomes the creation that we were hoping it would become. And I'm talking about our lives, the creation of our lives, the creation of ourselves, our own self-development, our own self-expression, and how we want to spend our time with the very short time that we are given here in these bodies, in this life. Very short window of time. It doesn't seem so in your childhood, your teens, or your 20s, but somewhere around the age of 30, it starts to rev up. Things start to get a lot faster, and your mind starts thinking, wow, I should be a lot more further along the road than I am. Then in your 40s and 50s, there's like a tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And you start to look at your elders and think, wow, this is where I'm going. So the time that you have here, this short 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years that you get to live in this body, that's your time. It's your life. It's your life to do with as you please. It's your time to do with as you please. What do you want to do here? What do you want to offer the world? What do you want to share? What do you want to experience? How do you want to engage in this life? What do you want to become? This is all about encouraging you to keep moving, keep stepping forward. Don't quit. Continue down the path. Many years ago, I took a aerobic step class certification. And for many years, I had worked for a fitness franchise, but it was mostly machines and motivation. And I was doing a lot of sales and memberships and customer service, all that sort of thing, managing the gyms. And when that job completed, I just started going to the gym. And then I got invited to participate in a fitness instructor training, which happened to be step aerobics. And I met a woman in that class and we bonded. Well, we bonded because we were soul family, but we bonded because we were the absolute worst fitness instructors in the room. We were the worst. We were uncoordinated. It took us so long to learn the release, to learn the choreography. We fumbled. We were out of breath. We were just horrible. And had we quit in the beginning, we would not have formed a relationship and shared a relationship that lasted for over 15 years, where we were partners, co-facilitating fitness instructing step classes at this gym. If I had quit, we would not have built the relationships with all of the members at the gym, this incredible, beautiful team of women, specifically, mostly women, that were exercising. Some of them took my classes every week for 15 years. But the long story short of this whole thing is there were other women in the class that were far better at choreography, graceful movement, and shouting out instructions than we were. What happened though is after only a few short months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, the two of us had transformed dramatically. We got better and better and better at teaching these classes. And the other people left. They left. They had other life commitments that took them away from fitness instructing. And so we became like foundational teachers at this gym, that if we had not stayed with it, these classes wouldn't have been available for our community because there was no instructors for them. So what I'm sharing with you is that fitness instructor, fitness has always been a calling for me. I took I forget what it's called, but it was almost like a do-it-yourself associate's degree. You could take whatever you wanted, but you had to take extra credits. You had to do extra because you were doing whatever you wanted. So I took this. I went into college, into my associate's degree, and I took only the classes that I was interested in, and some of the classes that were mandatory. And so I took Nautilus, rock climbing, aerobics, and I took a whole slew of like creative writing and English lit courses because that was another thing that was really inspiring to me. But when I was taking those classes in my early 20s, I never would have imagined or even would have directed myself into a position of working in a fitness facility for, I mean, if you think about the whole thing, it was 20 years. 20 years, 22 years from start to finish in the fitness industry as firstly my main job, and then secondly a little side job. And the side job teaching the aerobics, basically I was just getting paid. I was getting paid to get my workout on, is basically how I considered it. And so it was motivation for me to keep going to the gym. And so that was how I designed my life. But my heart's calling, my soul's purpose was already written there. When I was in my 20s, I thought I was just like effing off through college, taking what I wanted, taking what was fun, taking what was enjoyable. Never did I imagine that my soul knew that I would be in the fitness world. And the fitness world is so much more than, lifting weights and cardio. Being a fitness instructor and working at a gym is motivating and empowering for, you're in a position to motivate, to uplift, to empower, to strengthen. And for the first 10 years of it was women only for me. So I was doing a women only fitness facility, and my job was to make these women or support these women to transform their lives. I couldn't have imagined this. It fell into my lap. I was directed to it synchronistically, but I never would have considered a profession in this field. I was not coordinated. I was not thin. I did not consider myself beautiful. And at the very beginning of this juncture into the fitness field, I was an introvert. I was an extreme introvert. I'm still pretty introverted, but the process of becoming, when I landed the job that opened the door into the fitness world, I was an introvert, but the job required me to interact with all of the other women there and be of supportive service. And so I had to come out of my shell. And luckily, the beautiful women that came into the club were just so nice, and they were just so chatty, and they assisted me to come out of my shell when I really needed it in my late 20s. So, what I'm sharing with you again today is to get out of your way, to don't imagine that you can't do something because you're not perfect at it or you're not good at it, especially when you first start, because nobody is good at it when they first start. Everything has to be developed. So, don't stop yourself just because it's hard if it's your soul's calling, if it's your heart's calling. Take a break when you need it and then pop back in because there's something in it for you. There's self-growth, there's self-development, and there's a deliverance of your gifts. 20 years later, looking back at this career that I had at the fitness facility, the fitness franchise, I can't tell you how many hearts I touched. I can't tell you how many women were transformed by their participation in the um, in the exercises and in the programs and in the interactions, the social interactions with others, including myself. We do not know the ripples in the pond that we create by our presence. We can't know that. I never would have imagined that I would funnel my energy, my heart into that field, but I have been transformed through it. And the deliverance of the divine gifts within my being, which is my heart's desire to encourage others to up level, to transform, to grow, to expand, to live their best life. That has always been in me. It was dormant. It was dormant until I took those first few steps into the fitness world. I knew I wanted to help. I knew I wanted to make change, but I didn't know how. And God served me up with this incredible career at a young age, 28. And when I was in that career, I had a knowingness within my being that all of the trainings that I was going through and all of the pushes to expand beyond my comfort zone were serving me to grow and were serving me to for the next stage of my life, which is this: to be on camera, to share with you, to feel comfortable in my own skin, just being me and sharing with you what I know, what I have to offer, and also not taking it personally, not taking the rejection personally, not taking the disinterest of others personally. Moved into the fitness facility taught me so much that I actually went into a sales job after that, which I had already taken the Awakening Your Light Body, and I was manifesting. The fitness clubs were going down tubes, 2009 recession, and I moved gracefully into a sales position, which I manifested for myself through the light body energies and through focusing and intending on what I wanted to create for my life. And what I wanted to create for my life at that time was a job that would financially support me, where I would only need to work 2 or 3 days a week and give me the time and the financial support to continue my to continue my spiritual studies on my path, on the path that interested me the most. And so through the light body, through the meditations, through the intentions, and through the focus, I have always attracted jobs like that. Even when I was working in the fitness facility, that job, when I first started, it required me to be on the road 8 days a month, and the rest of the month I had off. Then it shifted to 2 days a week every week, or 3 days a week every week. And then it shifted to at home fielding phone calls. And so it was an incredibly cush job. It had a lot of benefits. And then when I moved into a sales gig after that, it was only 2 or 3 days a week. The rest of it, I could do a little bit at home. And I had the rest of the week for my spiritual studies. So I'm sharing all of this with you because I want you to know that when you follow your heart, when you follow your soul's calling, the answers will make themselves evident. The solutions will appear. The doorways will open. You just have to keep stepping forward through the inertia, through the self-doubt, through the procrastination, through the imperfection, through the feelings of pointlessness. That is normal. It's all normal. But it's just a wave of energy, and it's only really just a thought in the mind. So keep going, keep going, keep going, keep following your path, keep following your dreams, keep investing in yourself on things that you really, really and truly love, because you have no idea where you're going with it. You have no idea what's going to open up for you, and you have no idea what your contribution in this world, how your contribution in this world is going to shape the world, who you're going to affect, who you're going to uplift, how your gifts are going to be delivered and even stand the test of time sometimes. We had talked about Hilma af Klint in a previous one of these lives. She was the first abstract artist that they know of. They're calling her now the mother of abstract art. At the time that abstract art came out, she was a woman. Her voice, her artwork was silenced. Spirit directed her to create this artwork. Spirit showed her that this artwork was going to be in this incredible temple, which she drew, which 80 years later, after her death, her artwork was brought to the surface again, and it was exhibited in the Guggenheim Museum, the Guggenheim Museum in New York City. And the Guggenheim building is what this woman drew, and she died 10 or 15 years before the Guggenheim was ever built. But she drew this museum where her artwork would be housed. She thought it was a temple, and then it was in the Guggenheim. She did not get any recognition for her artwork when she was alive, but her artwork has inspired thousands upon thousands of people and has really, really inspired the women and the artists. It has really, really inspired me seeing her work, knowing her story, and knowing that her artwork can inspire me. 80 plus years after this woman has died, her artwork is touching me and inspiring me to keep going with my gifts, to keep going with my art, to keep going with these lives, because I might be putting these lives out and nobody is listening. Nobody might be listening, and that's okay. That's totally fine for me. I'm totally riffing. But 50 years later, 100 years later, something in this may pop up somewhere in the world and create inspiration in others and create them to offer the next wave. Who knows? We do not know what our gifts, what the consequences of delivering our gifts in the world are. So please keep going. Please keep going. Do not stop. One step in front of the other. Gradually build. Our mind thinks it all has to happen today, tomorrow. We should be there already. But the thing is, once we get there, the next road presents itself. The next training, the next expansion, the next thing to create presents itself. And so our victory to getting there is over, and we're already starting on something new. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the development, enjoy each and every step along the way, and each and every moment of your precious, precious time in your physical body, in your life. Even if you live to 100 years old, it's so minute, so minute. Sending you love, big, big love. Big, big love to all the light workers, empaths, starseeds out there who are holding down the light